This is the August performance or the August slides of data for the performance of home market in Johnson County, Parker County, Wise County, and Navarro County in the North Texas region. Let me go ahead and switch it to 3 years so we can see the trends a little bit better. Although maybe 5 years would be a little bit more clear. This what happens. The data is very difficult to read. Unlike if you've seen my videos for Dallas County and Collin County, where the data is much smoother because there is more data to show. Data here becomes choppy because we have fewer homes being sold, so deviations in price or deviations in speed of sale create very choppy data. But I'm going to show you what I can. I mean, I can only do what the data shows me to do. Okay, so Johnson County is going to be blue, Parker is going to be red, Wise is going to be green, and Navarro is going to be gray. From the standpoint of the medium sale prices, we're watching the data for 5 years. And what we're seeing right now is that we don't see really, other than normal deviation that you would expect, for example, during May versus January, we don't see that much of a difference, especially. So let's just take the Parker County. Noted that the Parker County had a very solid performance for the last 3 years, 2022, 2023, 2024. Now, there was quite a dip at the beginning of 2024, but they're back on track. So I would say that compared to larger counties like Collin, Dallas, Cannon, I'm observing a lot more stability in the Parker County pricing because this is median sale prices, which means that they're neither decreasing nor increasing. Now, for those of you who are flipping, that's actually a little bit troublesome because for your investment to be solid, you want to see a little bit of an increase over time to protect yourself from quick movements of the market. So from a standpoint of flipping in Parker County, you see how much the prices are stagnant and how quickly the weather can change on you from 1 month to another. Even if you plan to go on the market in, let's just say, in August, but you had a delay and that delay cost you a month, suddenly you're losing from 465, you're dropping all the way to 425. That is a $40,000 drop. So you see how the slower market and more stagnant market creates more treacherous ground for an investor. And then look, within a couple of months, you're suddenly back to 268. And there doesn't seem to be a huge rhyme or reason. Like, for example, what led to this huge price spike smack in November? Now, given the contracts were probably written in October, but still, this very choppy performance signifies higher risk for you as an investor to be subjected to this kind of performance. Now, let's take a look at the Johnson County. So Johnson County is here blue. What I'm observing in Johnson County is that it's pretty much following the trajectory of the Parker County. So Parker and Johnson seem to be almost twins. See? Almost twins in their behavior and even their downs and ups. Yes, so performance is very close. But notice that the line is a little bit more smooth in the Johnson County, which means that the changes, when they happen, the ups are less dramatic and the downs are less dramatic as well. However, we do see that here, I wonder if it was an interest rate change at this point, because look how quickly it dropped and then how it was able to recover right here. Anyhow, so Johnson County, the median sale prices continue to pretty much stagnate. Now, noted that compared to, let's just say, June of 2022, where the median sale price was $357, and now it is at $350. We lost a little bit of a ground, only about $7,000, but not much. So there's a slight downward trend, but not that big. The highest point in 2024 so far has been in June. And in June, it was at 350. Now, notice that for the entire year of 2024, Johnson County was not performing as hot as, for example, Parker County. All right, let's take a look at our Wise County. So Wise County reminds me of Henderson County in the east. Look at how dramatic are the movements of the pricing is. Especially take a look from let's just say September to November to December and then back to February. It is now again one of the reasons is there are just fewer houses for sale. So when you have a sample has fewer homes in it, deviations in pricing, let's just say in 1 month we might have 5 or 6 or 7 homes that closed that were luxury homes. And those luxury homes pushed the median sale price for that specific month higher than it would normally be. And they were maybe a couple of months where they have multiple fixer-uppers. And those fixer-uppers got sold for one reason or another altogether. And then suddenly it created a huge drop. So just because remember, those are median sales prices, which means you have the fixer-uppers, you have owner-occupied homes, you have remodeled homes in this mix, and everything in between. Okay, and the last one is Navarro County. So for the Navarro County, what I'm observing is that it seems to be following, so let's see, it seems to have the opposite trend. So let's take a look at the Navarro County here, right? Notice that in July of 2022, when almost everybody was dropping, the Parker County was dropping, the Johnson County was dropping, Wise County was slightly on the rise, I guess. Wise County was also dropping. Everybody was dropping. Navarro County defied expectations. Now look at the opposites in these swings. So defied expectations here, defied expectations here, defied expectations here again going against the trend. So what I'm observing is that Navarro County seems to be the mirror image or the opposite of the Wise, Parker, and Johnson County for whatever reason. And what does it tell me about investing in Navarro County? I will be honest, I do not know what it tells me, but maybe if these 3 counties are suffering, try Navarro County. Maybe they're doing something completely different. Okay, let's take a look at our days in the market. The days in the market are relatively okay. We have for Navarro County, 19 days. It's not bad. It seems like Johnson County, which is in blue, had a little bit of a spike in February, dropped really well starting in March, performed really well with low days in the market throughout the most of the spring and the summer, and is still performing really well. The people who really seem to experience a huge spike in days in the market was the Wise County. So the Wise County went all the way to 82. Now, remind you, this is resale home. Those are not new construction. So it looks like Wise County takes the price for one of the largest spikes in days in the market, and so did Navarro County. So even though we see that Navarro County performed pretty well, but also pretty flat on prices, days on market fluctuated wildly. The county with the least fluctuation on days on market was Johnson County and Parker County. And that means that there are just more buyers walking the homes in there, or more predictability in how quickly the homes turn. Okay, let's take a look at months of supply. Months of supply are pretty steady. You see, as choppy as this data is, just look at this. This is a complete nightmare, right? Days on market are fairly consistent, but show 2 different patterns, either subdued pattern or a very aggressive pattern. On months of supply, look at that. They're almost in sync with one another. So what can we tell about months of supply? Johnson County has 4.7 months. If the houses stop selling right now, that means that it would take almost 5 months for all the homes to sell before they would run out of homes. Parker County at 6. 6 is very high. So Johnson County, if we are to break it into buyer and seller market, Johnson County is in moderate buyer territory. Parker County is in very much the buyer market. Wise County, extreme buyer market. Navarro County is moderate buyer market. So all of them are in buyer market. Any market that is more than 4 is a buyer market. And the higher it is away from 4, the more disadvantaged home sellers are and the more advantaged or more leverage the buyers have. Homes for sale. As we can see, the homes for sale are also pretty stable, even though the pricing all over the place. Then the trajectory of people putting homes in the market is pretty stable throughout all the counties. Now, if we take homes for sale for 10 years, let's just take a look at those numbers. We will see that right now, Parker County is at a historic maximum for homes for sale. I would say that Johnson County is also at its historic maximum right now for 10 years, and I'm only talking about those 10 years. Wise County probably also at historic maximum because I don't see anywhere else where to go. But the highest peak until then was right here, and that was 205, and now we're at 341. Now, what's interesting is that Navarro County is not at its highest peak. It's pretty steady. Now, if you notice, starting from 2016, 17, slight decrease toward 2021, and go back, but they're pretty steady. So consider this graph versus, for example, this graph, much more extreme deviations. So I would say that from a standpoint of homes for sale, inventory seems to be the most stable in Navarro County and the most unstable in Parker and Johnson County. So this was our supply. Supply is just part of a calculation for months of supply. What about our demand? How many homes actually sold during this time? Right? We see that again, what is really kind of a big highlight among all 3 videos. So I just did 3 videos. One was for Dallas, Collin, Denton, and Tarrant County. One was for Hunt, Kaufman, Henderson, and this one is Johnson, Parker, Wise, and Navarro. So what I'm noticing is that despite a very turbulent relationship with prices, from the standpoint of buyers actually buying the properties, we see a surprising consistency from 2015 to 2024, surprising consistency. Of course, we have our own ups and downs, little dips and everything, but overall trends. So what we can see that in most cases, we have this double peak, right? Notice this double peak, double peak, double peak, double, 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 double. So what does this double peak usually do? So typically we have June, and then August. Okay, let's take a look. This one didn't have a double peak. This one is a single peak. This one is June and then August. June, August. So very predictable. May and July. Okay, May, August. Okay, June, July. This one is a triple peak. Oh, triple peak in 2022. Okay, this one is July, September, November. And then this one is May and August. So based on what I'm seeing, I would predict that we will see another peak in August, just based on the prior behavior in terms of homes sold. Now, please do be aware that those homes that were sold in August, the contracts for those homes were written in July. And then last but not least, shows per listings. How many buyers are wandering the market and visiting homes? As we can see, for the last 10 years, we're kind of almost like at a fairly low number compared to 2021, 2022. We are 1/3 of that amount. We can see that the largest number of homes, largest number of buyers were in February, okay, March. So notice that peak of buyers visiting in droves. And when I say droves, 5 is not a drove, but you know what I mean. The peak of number of buyers visiting the property was actually in March from the look of it. So you see, this was a peak for Johnson, it was a peak for Parker, and it was somewhat of a peak, although not truly in Wise, but there was a dip in Navarro. But what I'm noticing is that the peak was in March, in February and March, and then it actually went down for everybody except for Navarro. Navarro, as always, beats the trend. Navarro really likes to be the maverick in this particular scenario. So we see that we had a huge drop up until May, only a very slight bump in June, and then started to drop again. So what I'm concluding from all of that is that there's a very much a buyer territory, simply because there are very few buyers, 2 buyers, 2.5 buyers, 3 buyers that are visiting a home, and then the house needs to potentially sell, potentially with a price cut. Let's just take a look how many price cuts they're getting, and let's take a look for like 3 years. So for the 3 years, this is 100%. So at 100%, the sellers are getting 100% of their asking price. So what we're seeing here is that compared to their asking price, most homes sold at approximately 96, 95, 96, 97. So whenever you are, so let's just say you're a flipper, let's just say you're planning to flip a house in one of those counties, please be aware that historically, whatever price you're having in your mind as your ARV, take about 4% out of it and deduct it from your price. So when you're calculating your ARV, calculate ARV minus 4%, and that is going to be a more likely and realistic sale price for your property. I hope that was helpful. My name is Elena Garrett, and I'm a realtor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. I am with Keller Williams Central 75. If you think that this content was useful, please like. At the very least, if I see you guys liking it, I know that I need to generate more content like that. And if you would like me to show other calculations or other statistics for you, let me know what data you would like to see, and I'll see if I can gather it for you. Until then, I'll see you at the next video.